I've kind of realized that I think my best bets of actually winning the game would be going against Simon, because I don't think that he's going to have any chance at getting Kyle or Jamila's vote, and I think I would get Nick and Brandon's vote if they're jurors. So that's four. That's enough for me to win. The tricky part is that I don't want to have to backstab like 8 million people to get to a final two with Simon, so I kind of have to let other people make moves for me.
Big Brother begins now.
I had won the power of veto. I was super happy about it because I was so worried about going home, and now that I'm taking myself off the block, it's going to be super awesome. I got a call from Mateus, and he wanted to talk to me about who he should probably put up so that Nick can go home. And the problem is I really want Nick to stay in the game. Basically, it came down to two people. It came down to Kyle H, and it came down to putting up Brandon, which surprised me. I was like, wow, you want to possibly put up Brandon? If we put up Brandon, like, there is no way Nick was going to stay because Tom would automatically vote for Nick. So with that in mind, I was like, okay, I need to convince Mateus to put up Kyle H. He was telling me that Kyle H and Matthew want Brandon out, so I was like, you know what? It would probably be a risk to put up Brandon, and we should totally put up Kyle H because I could totally see Nick going out in that situation.
It's after the veto ceremony in which Kyle asks to use the veto to save himself, and just like that, Mateus put me on the block. So either myself or Nick is going to go home, and I'm pretty devastated about it. I've fought really hard in this game, and I really thought Mateus and I were cool, and I just think he's really naive in this game to think that whatever he says goes, and he thinks that he can tell everyone that because he's the HOH and he wants Nick to go home, that Nick's going to go home and I'm going to be safe. I think there is a huge chance of me going home tomorrow.
I don't really trust Kyle H, and he totally betrayed my trust last week, and he was kind of part of the reason why Mateus was totally down to vote Jamila out because Kyle H couldn't come to a decision, and Mateus was waiting for that. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with Kyle, and I totally trust Nick more, and it's going to be really hard to keep Nick in the game at this point.
Kyle H, I have pretty much no strategic relationship with, and him and I only talk game moments before evictions. And Nick and I have been close since the first week. So, yeah, it's really not a tricky decision for me.
It really sucks. I thought I would get farther than this, and I can't believe that I would be going home due to an Alliance member. I'm pretty heartbroken right now. I guess this is karma for me missing the veto. I'm at a loss for words. I want to fight against Nick, but he's hard to fight against because he's a nice guy, and he's not that good at challenges compared to me. And I think people know that I'm aligned with people, and he's not, so he's the safer bet. So I imagine I will go home by a vote of 4-1 tomorrow, or by a vote of 3-2. If I leave tomorrow, I'll leave graciously, and I'll vote for whichever person is less of a douchebag in the finals, because right now I don't want to vote for any of them except for maybe Matt Sherlip, and I don't know if I'd ever say that again, ever.
So, I don't know. I'm really annoyed because Tom and Brandon are sitting pretty right now, and it seems like they've made a lot of deals with everyone in the game.
This round is a huge breath of fresh air for me. It's such a nice change from last round because last round was miserable. At this point, last round, I was talking to everyone in the game for really brief periods of time where they would give me a disingenuous answer about how they were going to vote that round. This round, however, I feel like things are very different.
This vote's going to come down to Brandon and Tom and the way they want to vote.
First of all, there's not like 8 million conversations happening. It's just a few brief ones where people are being straightforward with each other. And second of all, I kind of feel like I'm in the driver's seat. I feel like I ultimately could vote either way and that person would go home. And I won't lie, it's kind of a nice feeling to be put in that position. Mateus really wants me to get rid of Nick but I think it's entirely possible if Kyle H wins HOH that me and Mateus will sit beside each other. So I'm hoping that I can sell that line of reasoning to Mateus, but even if I can't, I'll have to just act first and apologize later, I guess.
I'm safe for now, and if we can save Nick tonight, then it's going to look really good. Otherwise, if Nick goes home, I'm not going to be surprised if I'm the next juror.
Let's check in with the house guests. House guests!
Hi, Keith.
Hi, Julie.
So good.
It's your golden goddess, Julie.
Matthew, the first question is for you. What is the house dynamic like right now? How's the mood of the house?
It's crazy, always crazy. God, nobody knows anything in the last minute. What the fuck, even?
Thank you so much. The next question is for Kyle S. You won the veto. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you feel sitting where you are now, rather than nominations for earlier this year?
I'm just really glad I won the veto. It came in at just the right time, and I'm feeling a lot better.
The next question is going for Simon. Simon, you were the previous head of household and managed to remain off the block. How do you do it?
What the fuck? I don't know. Just kind of like be cute like me and then sit there and be pretty.
Thank you so much. And similarly, the next question goes to Brandon. Brandon, you survived eviction last week and managed to escape the block this week. Any advice for the gentleman who manages to survive this week's eviction?
Well, it starts off by being really tall. So if you can manage to gain a few inches, then you might keep yourself off the block. I don't know. Just solidifying relationships, I think, is the most important thing.
Thank you all so much. Those are the only questions I have. We'll now go into the live voting, but before we do that, we'll hear one last final plea from either one or both of the nominees, depending if Nick just joins the call right now. With that said, Kyle H., you will go first.
Hi, everyone. I'm crying because I'm a little heartbroken. I know it's ridiculous to cry over an online game, but that's how much I care about this game and the people playing it. Regardless of me, whether or not I leave this house tonight, I know I'm leaving as someone who was probably the most honest and the most genuine person here. And I cared so much more about all of you as people than as game players. But I can't do any more fighting. I can't do any more strategy. I have made the best pitch I can to every single one of you. And I don't think it worked. I leave this game rather upset. And just wishing that I probably should have focused more on my graduate degree than this game. But I live with no regrets. Good luck with the rest of the game. And if you can find any way to save me tonight, I would probably be the most grateful person on earth. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kyle H. Unfortunately, it looks like Nick can't join this Google Hangout, so we'll go ahead and start with the live voting. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Keith.
Please cast your vote to evict.
Okay, so if anyone in this house doesn't already know where the lines lie, I think they're a fucking moron. And so it doesn't matter to me at all whether I vote in the majority or not, honestly. I gladly vote to evict Nick and don't even give a fuck.
Thank you so much. Please send in Simon. Hello, Simon.
Hi, Keith.
Please cast your vote to evict.
This is by far the hardest decision ever, and I'm so sorry. I think you're a great friend, but I have to evict Kyle.
Thank you so much. Please send in Brandon. Hello, Brandon.
Hi, Julie.
Please cast your vote to evict.
After that speech, it's really, really hard to do this. And if you would have played a game with me a year ago, I probably would be switching my vote right now. But I'm not going to be doing that, and I'm going to be voting to evict Kyle H. tonight.
Thank you very much. Please send in Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I vote to evict Kyle H.
Thank you very much. Please send in Kyle S. It's official. With 3 votes to evict, Kyle H will be leaving the Big Brother Basics house. Let's see how Kyle S votes. Hello, Kyle S.
Hi, Julie.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I sadly vote to evict Kyle H.
Thank you so much. You may return to the living room where we will announce the decision. Votes are in. The evicted house guest will have just a few moments to gather his belongings, say their goodbyes, and walk out the front door in the form of this Google Hangout. By a vote of 4-1, Kyle H, you have been evicted from Big Brother Basics.
All right. Just some closing words. I will reiterate what Jamila has said. Anyone who is able to get out Mateus will have my jury vote. Matthew, I am pushing for you to win this. So if that puts a target on your back, then I am sorry. For those who are not Simon, Tom, and Mateus, if you continue to let people go unnominated, they will skate to the finals. So let that be a challenge to all of you. Brandon, it's been great talking to you. Nick, you're a fantastic person. And Kyle S., I think I'm most hurt by your vote. I leave this house with dignity, and I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to see some of you in the jury very soon.
Simmer, I have an announcement, house guest, before y'all want to talk to each other. This week is a double eviction week, and let's plan it out right now since all 7 of us are here in this hall. Hello, Kyle. You can please set your bags over there, have a seat. Thank you so much for being here. What are your initial thoughts leaving the Big Brother Basics house?
I feel like I made an ass out of myself. I probably being one of the few people who's sobbed during an eviction ceremony, but it sucks. It sucks that this had to happen. I think I fought harder than anyone else in that house. I think there's some people who are skating by to the end, and it's really unfortunate to watch. So, yeah.
You did definitely show some emotion in the eviction speech. Did you expect that going into it?
I think I did, because I knew the minute I got put up that it was going to be very hard for me to stay in this house. And part of me really didn't want to fight at all. I quite frankly have conference hangover, and I still kind of feel like shit. But I think it was just all of the hard work put into it all kind of came flooding out at once. So that was hard.
You did mention the veto was used. Kyle S. vetoed himself. And Mateus, inside the Outsiders Alliance, nominated one of their own, you. How did you feel when Mateus nominated you?
I've always thought Mateus is the dumbest one in the game. So I think I felt it was incredibly disloyal, and I think he is incredibly naive. I can't root for him at all. I really, really would love to see him join us in the jury house very soon. He thought what he was doing was going to make sure Nick went home because that was his target, but I also don't think I trust him 100%. I think he's worked very close with Brandon and Tom. I think that has kind of sealed my fate. So I wish him nothing but the worst. And I would love to see him join the jury house very soon.
I see. Was there any house guest in particular that surprised you the most while you were either on the nomination or while you were inside the Big Brother Basics house?
I think they all surprised me in their own way. I think I think Nick surprised me in the ability to be a floater. I did not see that at the beginning, and I think that surprised me a lot. I'm not surprised that Simon is an immature child. I'm not surprised by that at all. I feel stupid for aligning with a 16-year-old. They're not old enough to vote, so I don't know why they get to vote in Big Brother, but I digress. I'm surprised by the ability for people to buy Brandon's shit. I feel I got played. I believed it last week. I voted to evict Jamila. It was the hardest thing I've done this entire game, other than sob in front of everyone. So I'm surprised how willing people are to believe him. And I'm surprised that Thomas had absolutely no problem to get where he's at. And he has, I don't think he's going to have any trouble getting to the finals. So lastly, I'm surprised that Matthew is the one who I felt the closest to at the end of the game. I think people gave him an awful rap from the beginning, and he very much could have went home that first week. I'm so glad he did it. I am grateful that he was able to be my one vote tonight. And if he is able to pull out a miracle, I hope he wins.
Nice. Any regrets in the Big Brother house?
I regret being as honest as I was. I meant what I said, and I think a lot of people would agree that I was by far the most genuine. I think I always told people what I was thinking, what I was feeling, what I was doing. That might have been my downfall, but I can't regret it. I played a great game. I made the jury, and I can't wait to vote for one of these suckers to win it.
Great. Yes, you'll be the second member of our jury, and we'll cast a vote on December 10th. In the event that you were evicted, there were some goodbye messages for you. Please take a look over here and listen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Kyle H. I'm really glad I got to meet you. I'm so happy that I got to play this game with you. I had to do what's best for me. So I hope that you understand that. I'm really glad that I got to play your first org with you. I know that first orgs are scary and crazy and fun.
Kyle H., if you're seeing this video right now, I am so sorry that you had to leave this week. It just wasn't meant to be, and it was nothing personal but purely strategic. I just didn't know where your head was in the game, and I am so sorry.
So even though you and I didn't really work together in this game, I do have a lot of respect for you as a player. I think you bring a lot of maturity, and you have a great sense of humor that really shone through in the veto that you hosted. I hope you're holding your head high right now, and I hope that you continue to play orgs in the future, because you're a great addition to the org community.
Kyle H., you're obviously probably one of the closest people I had in this game. I think of you as a good friend, and I definitely hope that we talk more after the season. If you're evicted, I'm gonna be really sad. I think you're a great guy, and I'll see you in jury.
Any reactions to the messages the house guest left?
I hate Kyle S. so much. I hope he goes home. Simon, he's not fooling anyone. I think Tom was genuine. I think Brandon was genuine. And that's the way the game is played. So we'll see if I ever do an org again. I need to fucking win one of these times. And I'm just so pissed I never got HOH. I was so fucking close so many times. Now I have to go back to being a higher ed professional, which is just fabulous. So
well, thank you so much. It was an awesome pleasure watching you play, and we're excited to have you on the jury to cast a vote for a winner of Big Brother Basics.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to have the next HOH competition. Please tune in and find out who's going to win.
Go Matthew!
It's Big Brother, and you can't just make your decisions based off emotion. You have to look at how things are going to play out. And I feel like I'm much better about my position in this game if Nick is here rather than Kyle H., who doesn't seem to really have much loyalty to anyone in particular.